UFC 325 is over. Here's my experience.
I see my haters proud of me now. When I'm around, it's all smiles. I took over my whole town.
All right, to kick this thing off, I really enjoyed UFC 325. I thought it was a fun card throughout the card. Not the most star-studded card throughout the night, but the fights actually delivered for the most part. I mean, the Road to the UFC finales was a pretty good series finale. I mean, two of the fights did go to decision, but the Nakamura comeback knee in the third round was one of those fight enders where it's like, all right, that's pretty cool. I didn't know much about them, but they still put on some pretty decent fights. But the first fight of the night, we had Khan Offley taking on IOU TA. And in this fight, they said, it's a robbery. That's highway robbery. There's no way Khan Offley won that fight. But like IOU TA said, he learned something in 2026 already, and that is to not leave the fight in the judge's hands. I actually thought the fight wasn't that far of a robbery. I kind of gave, if I remember correctly, I gave Khan Offley round 1 and 3. I think it's round 2 where IOU TA dropped him, where it was clearly a IOU TA round, but I think Khan Offley won one round. Well, I think Khan Offley won round 1 and 3. What do you guys think? Let me know. Following that fight, we had Jonathan McCaleb taking on the Welsh gangster Oban Elliott. And in this fight, Jonathan McCaleb is looking like one of those prospects that we need to watch, because this man was able to go in there in the fire with Oban Elliott and come out on the other side of it, finishing Oban Elliott. And Oban Elliott, I took my hat to him. He didn't tap out. He went to sleep. But this man, Jonathan McCaleb, is looking like the real deal next threat at welterweight. What did you guys think about his performance? Let me know. In one of the worst fights of the night, in my opinion, we had Jacob Malkoun taking on Torres Finney. In this fight, I give Torres Finney a pass. Not really, but it looked like he tore his ACL or LCL in the first minute of the fight. You can clearly see something pop in his leg, and that might have been the case for him. But on the other side of that, for Malkoun to finish Torres Finney, a one-legged fighter that, yes, he carried a massive amount of powers in the haymaking left hand and right hand that he was just throwing. He was winging them out there. But every time Malkoun chose to throw a jab or a straight, it tapped Torres Finney in the face, and he just looked like he started getting chicken legs all over the place. But that fight was not the most exciting fight, but Malkoun is back. He's usually a grappler at that too, so I don't know. Hopefully this fight sets them up for a better comeback fight. Malkoun probably gets somebody out right outside the top 15, and Torres Finney, hopefully he has a speedy recovery with his injury. Following that fight, we had one of the more intriguing prospects on the card. We had Mr. Cam Ralston taking on Cody Brundage, and this man Ralston passed that test with flying colors, finishing Cody Brundage, somebody who is very hard to finish, in the second round of the fight after just pretty much punching him out. I mean, the referee had to save him. He was not getting out of that position. Cody Brundage was shelled up. The referee probably could have stopped it, probably about 10 to 12 punches before he stopped it. But Cam Ralston passed this test with flying colors, and I cannot wait to see what 2026 has for him. He'll probably get somebody right outside the top 15 his next time out, and it's going to be an extremely fun fight. In the prelim main event of the night, we had Mr. Junior Tafa taking on Mr. Billy Elikana, and this man Elikana just continues to show that he is developing really good skills in the octagon, as he is able to submit Junior Tafa in the second round of the fight. And it was just one of those things to where Junior Tafa thought he was safe trying to move positions. Elikana was able to snatch his neck. Elikana was able to secure the rear naked choke, and good night, Irene. Elikana, really good performance at UFC 325. And the first ever Buzzsaw Kill Award of the night, I am giving it to this man, Quillen Sawkill, for what he did to Jamie Malarkey. Absolutely ran through him like a buzzsaw. I mean, this man, Jamie Malarkey, I don't think he got a punch off on Quillen Sawkill. And if he did, it was glancing at best. It was glancing at best. Sawkill got the body lock and just threw Jimmy Malarkey like he was a sack of potatoes and was able to find the choke pretty much immediately thereafter. This man, Quillen Sawkill, is in store for a rocket ship to be strapped to that man's back in 2026, and I cannot wait to see it in action on Paramount, and this should be an extremely fun prospect to watch in 2026. And probably the most boring fight of the night. We had a fight that if you would have asked me before going into this night, it would have gone the distance. I would have looked at you sideways. We had Talis and Teixeira taking on Tai Tuivasa after a long layoff, and this fight did not deliver on what I thought it would be. I thought they was going to both go in there, heavyweights, slug it out, and somebody hit the floor. That is not what happened. It was a very timid performance from both of these guys. I mean, in about the third round, they was both gassed. Tai Tuivasa actually looked like he had more in the tank than Talis Teixeira, but it looked like Talis Teixeira was also trying to breathe and focus on breathing and standing up at the same exact time. And Tai Tuivasa, hopefully his corner at least knew going down to that third round, he was down 2-0. He did not fight that third round like you would think somebody would fight a third round down 2-0 explicitly. But what did you guys think about this fight? Let me know. And following that fight, we got another fighter whose rocket ship is about to get strapped to his back. Once again, he took a little detour on the takeoff, but this man, Mauricio Rufy, and what he did to Rafael Fiziev in the second round with that long right hand, just cracked Fiziev all the way across the cage. It felt like he was from side to side. And this man, Mauricio Rufy, whenever he's able to get you hurt, it's going to take God to move earth, mountain, winds to make him get off you and try to survive that storm. And this man, Fiziev, to be honest, first round, I thought he was looking good. I thought he was landing the more impactful, thudding punches. But that doesn't matter as long as Rufy can get you at one. And that right hand just spelled doom for Rafael Fiziev. And that was a really, really great performance from Mauricio Rufy. In the co-main event of the night, don't look now, but Benoit Saint Denis is now on a 4-fight finishing streak, and his last victim was Dan Hooker in the co-main event of UFC 325. And if you watch that performance, you would be like, damn, Dan Hooker was looking really good in the first round. Really good in the first round. Kept BSD off of him, was able to stand up for the most part, and picked him apart on the feet, on the ground. On the ground, on a sequence that he started. I mean, it was getting bad. It was getting really bad. Whatever Benoit Saint Denis wanted to do, he could have did. If he wanted to go on the mount, he could go to the mount. If he wanted to try to choke out Dan Hooker, he can go choke out Dan Hooker. I mean, this man, Benoit Saint Denis, just put it on Dan Hooker, and he was able to dispatch Dan Hooker in the second round of the fight. And Benoit Saint Denis is looking like he's going to fight somebody in the top 5 next. And he is looking like he's going to be set up for a #1 contenders fight. But what do you guys think about this fight? Let me know. In the main event of the night, we have a divisional GOAT. We have Alexander the Great Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopez. And this fight was a really fun fight. Once again, Diego Lopez is never going to be in a boring fight I ever believe in my life. But every time he fights, I think he's going to go in there with the intentions of knocking the other person's head off. It just so happens the person that he has been tasked to try to take the title off of is the greatest featherweight of all time, and Alexander Volkanovski was able to show that there's levels to this game, and Alexander Volkanovski is above everybody, while Ilia Topuria is at 155, and it is a pretty significant gap in my opinion. Alexander Volkanovski just pretty much showed ringmanship the entire time in the octagon. He was able to take center octagon and just pretty much keep Diego Lopez running around, trying to find the spots, find a big shot here and there. But for the most part, Alexander Volkanovski was able to dominate the rematch pretty much like the first fight. to a T. But this fight, I feel like Alexander Volkanovski had separated himself as the GOAT at 145. But overall, UFC 325 was a good show. I enjoyed it a lot. I feel like Paramount Plus was able to clean up a lot of stuff that I felt like was wrong with it. Like a lot of people said, there was a lot of commercials in the first show, and this show, UFC 325, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, we got the walkouts, we got a lot of the corner talking, a lot of the corner coaching. I mean, it was a good time. It was a good card. But I feel like UFC, they got some bangers coming up, and I cannot wait to see what the next ones are. But like always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Big people, peace.